Assalamu alaikum students. Munam Sariya, your history and civics teacher. Today we are going to start with chapter 1 of civics, that is Introduction to Parliamentary System. So in this chapter we are going to study about a system of government, our system of government, and what are the different system of government that are being applied in the whole world. In this chapter we are going to learn the system of the government. Normal that the system will be as per given in the Indian Constitution. In the Indian Constitution is the book which will show us the rules and regulation. Did you ever wonder what is the parliamentary system of government? The parliamentary system of government is the one in which the prime minister will be the head, and where representatives like prime minister, president are directly elected or appointed by the people. In India, did you ever wonder, in India we have prime minister, whereas if we check in United States of America, they don't have prime minister, they have president. So why is it so? We have prime minister and they have president. This is because we use parliamentary system of government. In a parliamentary system of government, the head of the particular political party is the prime minister, and his companions are known as council of ministers, which is Indian system, that is parliamentary system. And in the presidential system of government that is used in USA, there will be the president who will be the head of the country, and his companion, that is executive, which is the American system. What is the difference between, you might wonder, what is the difference between parliamentary and presidential system of government? So that's very important to know the difference between the both. So let's take it one by one. President is a constitutional head. Constitution means whatever book is written is in the hand of the president. Prime minister and council of minister have more power. As comparison with president, prime minister and his companion, that is council of ministers, have more power as compared to president. Council of minister is formed by elected members of parliament. We have parliament of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and we appoint them and we select a council of ministers. Parliament can remove the prime minister by passing a no confidence motion. If a prime minister is not working properly, so we will pass a resolution which is known as no confidence motion. Presidential system is a system in which the president will be the executive head. Means of overall the country, the president will have the power. As compared to prime minister or other peoples, president has more powers, not unlike parliamentary system. President can be removed only by impeachment. Means there is a procedure which we'll learn in the next lecture. Legislature and executive are not dependent on each other. Legislature who makes laws and executive who execute the laws are not dependent on each other. These questions will lead us to conclude that all those questions which we have already arised, like what is the parliamentary system of government, presidential system of government. Before we go ahead to understand different types of government system, that is like parliamentary or presidential system, we need to check out the main branches of the government, because that's very important. The function of legislature. When I use the word legislature, you should remember that legislature are the people who will make the laws. Whereas when I take the name of executive, you should remember that executive are the people who will implement the laws, whatever is given by legislature. And judiciary, that is Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, are the people's judiciary that will give justice. So the function of those organs, legislature, executive and judiciary, are decided by the constitution. It is all written on the constitution how they will work for legislature, executive and judiciary. The work of all the three organs will be decided by the constitution, and its features of interrelationship that determines each other, it depended upon the system of government adopted in a particular country. Like for example, if I take India is following parliamentary system of government, whereas if I say USA, it follows presidential system of government. Whenever people ask you government system, there are two types of government system, that is parliamentary system and presidential system. Then next we are going to study parliamentary system of government in detail. No worry if you are unable to understand any point, we are going to study it now. The parliamentary system of government, if anybody asks you how this parliamentary system of government had exist, so it was developed in England, because in English constitution, that they have the English constitution, is an unwritten constitution. The governance when the working are carried out with their traditions, their customs, that is rules and regulation. They have built the constitution as per their rules and regulation. The British Parliament is an institution that has evolved over a longer period of time. We all know that we were ruled by a British government for more than 200 years. So we are following the same India constitution that was an unwritten constitution. The parliamentary system of government having its root means if anybody asks you where does from this parliamentary system came, so you can answer it came from England. India has adopted a parliamentary system which were used by the England peoples of the British Parliament. We can see some similarities in the parliamentary system of England. Whatever system is used in England and whatever system is used in India, there are some similarities, means there are some similar things that we'll see in an institution level. But on the other hand, if we see, it is not purely similar. The content of both the I can say system is different. Indian parliamentary system of India, government of India. The parliament system is a system of government. The system is made to govern the whole country. The legislature of the central government and state government. Central government has the power over all the country. So the parliament has the Indian parliament is composed of president, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So we'll discuss in detail what are these peoples, that is president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. Means people elect who will be the members of the Lok Sabha. Like peoples like ours will select the peoples of Lok Sabha. They are fixed. Elections to the Lok Sabha are held at regular intervals, means every 5 years there will be an election and people will be selected for Lok Sabha members. All political parties such as Cycle, Congress, etc. Elects for a vote. The party which gets more than half of the seats, means who got majority, wins the election. The majority for party who wins the election forms the government. They get the seat. Like for example, BJP won. That's why the Prime Minister is Mr. Narendra Modi. Sometimes when there is no clear majority, sometimes it happens that there is no majority, then we will decide both the majority people will collab with each other, and what they will do is both will form a government, and that type of government is known as coalition government. In this way, candidates directly elected by people become members of the legislature. Legislature are the people who will make the laws. So the peoples who are elected who win the elections will go to, some peoples will go to legislature, and the party in majority gets a chance to form the government. Okay, whoever will get the more majority will go to form a government. The leader of the majority, means for example BJP, the leader is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That's why he is the Prime Minister. He or she selects candidates for ministerial. He will select who will be my minister, and individually they are known as ministers, and the group of them are known as Council of Minister. Prime Minister and his companion, that is Council of Minister, are chosen by the Prime Minister itself. Prime Minister will select who will be the executive, or who will be the Council of Minister. Together forms the executive. They both will work, and whatever laws are created, they will implement it. In parliamentary system, the executive has dual responsibility. There is no one responsibility. There are two responsibility. Number one, as an executive, they have to implement laws. Number one, whatever laws are being created by legislature, they have to implement it. Means they have to make it in practice. Okay, they also have to fulfill responsibilities of the legislature. What